When I took this picture of the sunset the night before our accident, I had no idea how much our lives would change the next day. We were transporting 2 dogs named Duke and Mr. Gobbles and 3 cats named Pippa, Mojo, and Betty. And the transport was going good. Everyone was happy, and we were on our way. This is the last picture that I took before the accident. My son and I had switched places at the gas station about 2 hours before this, so I could sleep and he could drive, as he had been sleeping all night. And when I awoke to this nightmare. We were in an accident, and it was serious. There was a truck driver that witnessed the accident behind us that stopped to render aid until the EMTs could arrive. When they got there, they got my son out of the van with the jaws of life and took him by life flight to UMC Lubbock. I stayed behind with the pets and worked with Snyder Animal Control to make sure they were safe while we went to the hospital. The police drove me an hour and a half to Lubbock so I could see my son, and I was so relieved to see him smiling and talking. I was just so grateful he was okay. Meanwhile, the cats had been picked up by another transporter that were hired by their owner and taken home safely. Riley and me were discharged from the hospital the same day of the accident, and we rested for a few days while we figured out what to do to get the other 2 dogs home. We went to the salvage yard and looked at the wreck and also tried to recover any belongings that we possibly could, but most of our stuff was destroyed. We were just happy to be alive and weren't so concerned about the material things. We just wanted to get Mr. Gobbles and Duke to their destinations and then go home ourselves so that we could rest. And through the support of all of our family and friends, we were able to keep going and get a replacement vehicle. Tracy and Nancy at the animal shelter were amazing, and Duke and Mr. Gobbles were well cared for and ready to go. So we got on the road and started delivering and doing what we do. We delivered Duke in San Diego to his mom, and they had been separated for 2 years while she was stationed in Japan, so it was a really heartfelt reunion. We continued on our journey, delivering Mr. Gobbles up to Washington State, and we really enjoyed his company. He was such a little love. And he was delivered to this kind lady, and she runs a hospice rescue for senior dogs. There he goes. Then Riley and I rested for a night before we picked up a dog that we had booked for the return trip before the accident occurred. And we were so grateful that we could still provide that service for her. And we had some wintry weather on the way back through Arizona and New Mexico, but we got her delivered before we started heading home to Texas. And that was it. Riley and me were both very bruised and sore throughout this journey, but we were so grateful to be able to do it, and we could not have done it without the help of all of our family and friends. Thank you so, so much.